Coming up on NTC News, out of the darkness and into the light as students march for undocumented citizens.
And over $1 million of equipment has gone missing at NIU. We'll tell you what's being done to find it.
Plus, an NIU program is changing the lives of people without sight. Find out how. NTC News starts now.
You're watching NTC News, DeKalb County's only television news source, on the campus of Northern Illinois University and from the Northern Television Center. This is NTC News Tonight.
Hello, I'm Ryan Naun. Thank you for joining us.
And I'm Ebulawa Sayemi. Today's Thursday, April 5th, and this is NTC News.
Immigration is a hot topic across the nation and here on campus, with news today that the National Guard is getting ready to protect the border with Mexico, as well as worries that students whose parents entered the country illegally might have to leave. There's a push to get attention to these issues. Yesterday, Dream Action NIU led its largest event of the year, and hundreds of students turned out to protest. NIU and Dream Action NIU held the 5th annual Coming Out of the Shadows event on April 4th. The event, which was held at Carl Sandburg Auditorium, had different performers sing, dance, and share poems about their struggles. Someone who was enjoying themselves at the event was Dream Action's co-vice president, Braden Asturgo Rollins.
I was really excited at the opportunity to do that and to use my music to also support the stuff that I do as far as like social justice.
Members of Dream Action believe that attendees did get the message of today's event.
I think it did go prove its point, because when we were in the Carl Sandburg, when I was giving my story, I saw the people of different colors and races and different backgrounds all huddled in that auditorium.
After the events inside ended, the march around campus began, which was important to a large amount of people in attendance.
So really, the importance of today's event was kind of making undocumented people's issues be heard. You know, coming out of the shadows, I mean, that's the name of the event. So it's really coming out of the shadows, saying we're here.
The march ended at MLK Commons with a picture with all of those involved at the event. Dream Action NIU has weekly meetings Wednesday at 6 p.m. in the Campus Life Building, room 100.
An Illinois Auditor General report did not bode well for the university, and the school is vowing to make changes. The Northern Star reported this week that NIU lost over $1.6 million of equipment. According to the auditor's report, the loss included approximately 520 computers, servers, and other electronics. The report outlined that the items have been missing since 2016, and the university has no recovery plan if the current computer system should fail.
Northern Star reporter Lindsay Savatelli joins Marlene Wences with more information on the auditor's report.
Salvatell is the current news editor for The Star and wrote the headline story. Marlene?
Thank you, Lindsay, for being with us today. Lindsay, you wrote the article about the $1.6 million loss, this according to the Illinois Auditor General. Tell us a little more about what's inside that article.
So the article essentially talks about some of the findings that the Auditor General found when they checked for compliances. Within that, the more salient issues that I brought up in my article related to equipment that was lost, which resulted in $1.6 million, and also there was a non-compliance with the Open Meetings Act, and our data recovery system is out of date as well.
How difficult was for you to get into this information, and is this information public?
Yeah, it's definitely public. It's really simple. You just go to the auditor's website. They have it listed yearly. And there's other agencies on there too. I mean, you can look at they do like a compliance check with the governor's office even.
You mentioned about how this also affects other schools, that this has been shown with other schools, but how NIU was the only one that came out in particular.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, from what I looked at, Illinois University was literally the only one that had this equipment loss that resulted in such a mass amount. Other schools had different recommendations. They also had different failures, weaknesses as well. Some of them worse, some of them were the same.
Now, did any NIU administration speak to you about this?
No, they haven't.
And how, as a point of view, as a student, how does this affect us?
Well, $1.6 million obviously is a lot. I think that with the university trying to sign on to a legislative bill to ensure that they receive funding, $9.3 million, and they signed on to it with the University of Illinois, and they're saying that they're good stewards of our money, I kind of think that that's not necessarily true when we have such a loss.
Well, thank you for being with us, Lindsay. We greatly appreciate it. Back to Ryan and Yvonne.
The new Food and Drug Administration chief says he plans to tackle the opioid crisis on federal and state levels. Figures shows that the misuse of and addiction of opioids, such as prescribed pain relievers, is causing over 100 Americans to die on a daily basis. Dr. Scott Gottlieb became the FDA chief in May of 2017. In an interview with CNN yesterday, Dr. Gottlieb says doctors need to get mandatory training on pain management and recognizing opioid abuse. Local efforts are also underway to combat the epidemic. A coalition of DeKalb police and local community groups plan to introduce a program providing resources to those in need of the help with their addiction. Project Hope Heroin Outreach Prevention and Education Program aims to provide easier access to resources for those without insurance. The overall goal of the program is to get users off drugs and back as productive members of the society.
The Illinois Department of Public Health is warning citizens about a synthetic cannabis with the names K2, Spice, and fake weed. The drug is linked to 70 cases of severe bleeding in Illinois and has killed 2 people. Online, the average cost for a bag of fake weed goes for around $10. These products are known to be toxic, but are still available on the market.
It's been a cold start for the first week of April.
Jacob, can you tell us what we can expect for this upcoming weekend?
Well, unfortunately, the cold weather will continue over the weekend and into next week, and we even expect to see some more snow over the weekend. More details will be coming up after the break.
Next on NTC News, how you may be able to help visually impaired students here at NIU.
And what students are doing to help the homeless in Chicago. We'll take a look at what's inside these care packages.
Drop that baby.
Testing. Why did the girl ask the mushroom to dance? Because he was a fun guy.
1 in 6 seniors faces the threat of hunger, and millions more live in isolation.
America, let's do lunch.
Drop off a hot meal and say a quick hello. Volunteer for Meals on Wheels by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
As we mentioned earlier, the National Guard is on its way today to Mexico to shore up the borders. But we're not sure how many troops or how much will cost at this point. President Trump posted a controversial tweet this morning saying that border crossings are at an unacceptable 46-year low, while the Homeland Security Secretary previously said that illegal border crossings rose at a 40-year low.
Carl Reevy tells us about President Trump's border plan and more on this week's Political Pit Stop.
Thanks, guys. Economic tensions between the U.S. and China are ramping up as China announces plans to tax U.S. exports. The Chinese Ministry of Commerce said it would impose 25% tariffs on $50 billion worth of exports yesterday. The products affected would include aircraft, cars, and soybeans. This comes as a response to President Donald Trump's announcement to tax more Chinese exports on Tuesday. Despite all this, the president tweeted this morning that we are not in a trade war, as that war was lost many years ago. Leaders from several countries are working to resolve the situation in Syria. The leaders of Russia, Iran, and Turkey met in the Turkish capital yesterday to discuss the future of the conflict. They expressed desires to achieve a lasting ceasefire while reiterating the need to drive terrorists out of the country. This comes after President Trump told his security team on Tuesday that he wants U.S. troops to exit Syria soon. He also stated that the future of U.S. involvement in the region could depend on funding from local players, such as Saudi Arabia.
Saudi Arabia is very interested in our decision. And I said, well, you know, you want us to say maybe you're going to have to pay.
Despite this, military officials insist there is still much to be done. The president is tightening security along the U.S.-Mexico border. The Department of Homeland Security announced yesterday that Mr. Trump is directing agencies to deploy the National Guard along the border. This comes after Mr. Trump said on Tuesday that he would be calling on the military to guard the border until a wall is completed. The statement followed a string of tweets calling for stricter immigration laws posted earlier this week. Finally, Dutch lawyer Alex van der Zwaan is the first person to be sentenced in the ongoing Russia investigation. Van der Zwaan was sentenced to 30 days in prison and fined $20,000 on Tuesday for lying to investigators and Robert Mueller's special counsel. He covered up his interactions with former campaign aide Rick Gates and a business associate with ties to Russian intelligence, and failed to turn over several emails the counsel requested. He pleaded guilty to the charges in February. That's all for this week's Political Pit Stop. Back to you.
There's a program here at NIU that many students may not even be aware of, but it's considered the best in the nation. And it serves a very distinct community of people. Brandon Giese learned more about the Visual Impairment Department here at NIU and the services they offer.
Students on campus are getting the opportunity to experience what it is like to be blind. These experiences are helping them learn to teach the visually impaired through a different lens. Their teacher, Dr. William Penrod. He is experienced in the field and challenges them daily in many different settings.
What is going to be your cue? Take them out into the community, and I teach them how to travel in residential areas and light business areas and downtown areas.
The class does a variety of different tasks, and this course is only a quarter of the curriculum for a program that has the most consistent funding on campus.
There was only 6 weeks in the mid-90s where we were between grants, where we didn't have any funding. And this is extremely unusual.
This is Graham Hall, and I'm actually just outside of the classes where the visually impaired class takes place. Their funding is mostly federal. This helps them recruit students, but also keeps them ahead of the curve.
So not only do we have the certification, but we also have the world's first training program in assistive technology for people who are blind or visually impaired right here at Northern Illinois University.
And many people get to use this technology. It helps the future teachers learn the equipment, such as the Braille keyboard, a talking watch, and software that allows the visually impaired to use a computer.
Enter, edit available, type in text, www.bookshare.org/bin, search edit.
While this program is nationally recognized, there is always a need for more. The amount of visually impaired students in this state alone drastically outnumbers the teachers, 16,737 to 212 to be exact. For NTC News, I'm Brandon Giese.
The department is always recruiting for possible students. For more information, check out the website. On the site, they outline what the program can offer students, not just educationally, but financially as well. The Visual Impairment Department is a highlight for the College of Education. The college is also focusing its efforts this month on autism awareness.
As part of this, organizers have put together a series of events that can help people better understand what life is like for people on the spectrum.
Brandon sat down with the dean of the department in charge of the Community Learning Series and joins us now for more on what they have planned for the days ahead.
Thanks, guys. Joining me today is Lori Ellis-Piper, Dean of the College of Education. Lori, thank you for being here with me today.
It's my pleasure.
Okay, so firstly, I just want to address, this is an important month, Autism Awareness Month.
Yes.
And you and your department are having a couple of events, if I'm not mistaken. What do you guys hope to accomplish throughout the month?
We're really hoping to promote awareness of autism and also resources that are available, specifically for educators who work with children and young adults with autism, but also for families that have a member who's on the autism spectrum. And so our hope is by sharing these resources, people can get connected with the supports they need so that individuals with autism can have successful experiences in school and even once they graduate from school and move on into adult life.
So you guys have a great event coming up on Tuesday. Yeah, that's your learning series, correct?
Correct.
What can people expect to hear at that event and also learn from the event?
The Community Learning Series is really focused on bringing together experts on a particular topic who will be of interest to a lot of different people attending. So oftentimes students, faculty, and staff come to these events, but also people from the community, professionals, families, individuals who are interested in the topic. So people coming to the Community Learning Series on April 10th will have an opportunity to hear different people talk about issues related to transitioning from school to adult life for young adults who have autism. And our hope is that this panel will provide different perspectives and provide opportunities to learn about different resources and strategies to try and support young adults with autism. There will also be an opportunity for questions and answers, and then we'll have a number of resource providers who will have tables set up, and after the event people can walk around and have an opportunity to talk with some of these providers to find out more about their services, to find out about different opportunities, and to learn more about the strategies that they're using to support young adults transitioning out of school into adult life who also have an autism diagnosis.
So there's going to be a lot of good information that's spread to the public at that event. What do you think are some common misconceptions that the public may have about autism?
Well, autism is a spectrum, so individuals who might be diagnosed along the spectrum might have different levels of challenge and also different levels of strengths. And so I think that it might be eye-opening for people to learn about the range of individuals who are diagnosed with autism, but I think also seeing what individuals with autism can do. I think many times people have lower expectations for these individuals, but finding out about what they can do to be successful not only in school, but in the work world and how they can learn and contribute and lead full lives. And I think that that'll be surprising for a lot of people to see some of the accomplishments of individuals with autism and some of the resources that help make those accomplishments possible.
Thank you so much for joining me here today. It's been a pleasure to have you here.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Back to you at the desk, Ryan.
NIU sorority is doing its part to help the homeless population in Chicago with an innovative idea. The women of Kappa Delta Chi are organizing a care kit with items filled with water bottles, snacks, and hygienic products. Last year, they distributed about 100 kits. Organizers say they are looking for more donations.
Not everyone has what you have at home. Not everyone gets the same opportunities that you get. So being able to just help people, even with if it's just like deodorant or a toothbrush, because they don't get to brush their teeth every day like you and I do.
Distribute the kits next weekend.
Class registration for fall 2018 is on the way. Open enrollment begins April 13th, with some students able to register sooner. Juniors and seniors can sign up today, and all the open enrollment dates continue this week. Students can find out their exact registration day and time by logging on to My NIU Student Center and clicking on Enrollment Appointments.
NIU is set to honor 4 members of the supportive professional staff for their influential and innovative contributions to NIU and the community. Denise Burchard, Gillian King Cargyle, Abby Wolfman, and Carrie Sachs are this year's recipients for the Presidential Award for Excellence. All 4 women are recognized for their vital role in shaping the character of the university. The ceremony is set for next Tuesday at Argyle Hall Ballroom at 2 o'clock.
It's been a pretty crazy week for weather in DeKalb.
Jacob, are we going to see any signs of warmth anytime soon? Next on NTC News, we'll tell you what the NIU award-winning robotics club is working on next.
And this week's leader of the pack is in love with diamonds. Find out why.
Plus an inside look at what it takes to make it to the top with the NIU cheer team.
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
These are cool. Did you, what did you?
You got a king?
Go fish!
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today.
It's been a crazy week for DeKalb's weather.
Jacob, are we going to see any signs of warmth anytime soon?
Well, we do see a slight warm up in the forecast, but that won't occur until the later half of next week. As we look at today, we'll see periods of rain and snow across DeKalb, but you won't have to worry about too much accumulation as just less than an inch is expected. There will be 10 to 15 mile per hour wind gusts with a high of 37 and low of 28. And as we look into tomorrow, we'll see cloudy skies and windy conditions across DeKalb. 20 to 30 mile per hour wind gusts are expected. There will also be a high of 34 and a low of just 17 degrees on Friday. And as we look into Saturday, we'll see sunny skies across DeKalb with near record low temperatures for this time of the year. A high of 37 and a low of just 19 degrees. But at least the winds will be dying down to 10 to 15 miles per hour. As we look at Sunday, we'll see snow showers across DeKalb, mainly in the afternoon and evening. 1 inch of snowfall is expected with a high of 38 and low of 29 degrees. And as we look into the week ahead, we'll see lingering snow showers on Monday during the morning hours. We'll see sunny skies on Tuesday with a high of just 42. And as we look into Wednesday, we'll see the temperatures finally climb up to 53, but that will also come with some rain. Back to you guys.
The NIU Robotics Club is taking on their biggest challenge yet. They will be building an underwater vehicle. Recently, this award-winning club built 2 robots, a quadcopter and a ground robot. The ground has around 20 students who are mainly engineering students. While they are still making improvements on the 2 robots they are making progress with their underwater vehicle.
Right now, we just finished the design stage, so we have a bunch of CAD models, we have a bunch of electrical schematics. We just need to build everything.
Meetings are on Monday and Thursdays at 6 p.m.
It's been a busy week here in the world of Husky athletics.
Let's send it over to Brandon Giese to catch up on this week's sports.
The weather has not been kind to our spring sports, but our Huskies are still active. Let's head to the mat to check in on gymnastics. 3 Husky gymnasts are headed to Alabama for the NCAA Regionals. Ashley Potts, Catherine Prentz, and Anna Martucci will represent NIU at 4 p.m. Saturday at the University of Alabama. Martucci won the MAC Specialist of the Week award 5 times and also took home MAC Specialist of the Year. Ashley Potts made the MAC All-Second Team, and Prentice put up a 39.110 overall score at the MAC Championships to qualify for regionals. The men's tennis team will travel to New York to take on the Binghamton Bearcats. The Huskies have had an all-around great season to this point. With a 3-1 conference record, they are sitting in a great spot to contend for the MAC title. The last time these 2 teams met, NIU won easily 6-1. First serve is set for Sunday at 10 a.m. The baseball team is looking to get back on the field after 2 consecutive canceled games. Coming off a rough series against the Ohio University, DeKalb weather has not allowed the Huskies to take the field. They have an important 3-game series with the Western Michigan Broncos this weekend, but as Jacob highlighted, the weather may not cooperate. If the Huskies are able, they will take the field tomorrow at 3 p.m. The softball team is riding a 4-game win streak into a MAC matchup with the Ohio Bobcats. Huskies have been on a major roll, winning 7 of their last 10 games. After a rough start to the year, Christina Sutcliffe's squad is turning the corner at the right time. A strong 4-2 conference record and only 2 non-conference matchups remaining, Huskies have a shot to make some noise in the Mid-American Conference. First pitch is on Friday at 3 p.m. Speaking of softball, one of NIU's very own has been heating up on the diamond. NTC News reporter Martin Sotelo tells us which Husky athlete is this week's leader of the pack.
Senior softball pitcher Tara Thacker's success reaches far beyond the diamond. Her accomplishments have not gone unnoticed as she has won a variety of awards over the years. But even with all of these accolades, what really stands out? Her versatility.
I was used to starting every single game in high school and all the way through. So then last year, when I was kind of a mixture of both, it was nice to be able to start some games and finish them, just wherever anybody needed me to help, whatever I could do for our success.
Tara's determination to win is unmatched. As a senior, she understands what it takes to compete at a high level. Head coach Christina Sutcliffe knows there aren't many people as determined as Tara.
I love about Tara is you can walk up to a game and you have no idea if she's winning or losing. She just has her game face on, is super competitive, and there's really no hitter that she thinks she can't get out.
Tara's passion for the game has always fueled her success. Her all-around skills are a testament to her hard work and dedication. She wants to continue to be a leader for the Huskies, as her attention to detail has led her to become the team's undisputed ace.
Practicing all the way through high school and everything, it was a lot of repetition. Like I would have hour and a half, 2 hour practices just going over and over, just making sure I could hit those consistently. All pitches actually. So I think once I got to college, it was a lot easier for me to focus on perfecting those pitches and pinpointing exactly where I needed it to go.
Tara's unselfishness and commitment to winning leaves her as this week's leader of the pack. I'm Martin Sotelo from NTC News.
With Tara's unique ability to lead by example, she hopes to guide the Huskies to a successful season. The biggest major of the year is underway at Augusta National Golf Club. The Masters teed off this morning with the most interesting pairing being Tiger Woods and Tommy Fleetwood at 10:42 in the morning. As of now, they are through 13 holes and Tiger is 3 over par. The current leader is Mark Leishman at 4 under. While a lot of the field has wrapped up their round, there are some big names left on the course. This will hopefully be the last of weather cancellations for our teams. Tune into Top Shelf Sports tomorrow for more on Husky athletics. Back to you, and as always, go Huskies.
The NIU cheerleading team is on their way to Daytona to compete for the national championship.
But the team almost lost the chance to keep their program alive.
NTC reporter Alyssa Galana got experience firsthand the amount of hard work and dedication that is put into their recognized organization.
In 2017, budget cuts forced the NIU athletic department to remove the cheerleading program, but that didn't stop the Huskies from competing. The Student Association approved their proposal on transforming the program into a club last spring. NIU cheerleader and public relations chair Reese Wotas addresses the challenges they face.
Any money that we need to use and need to get comes from us. We don't get help. It's all about our fundraisers and what we can do, and if we don't have enough money in the account from our fundraisers, it comes out of pocket.
The switch from an athletic program to a club left another gaping hole aside from funding. The cheer team was left without a coach, making it impossible for them to compete at nationals. That's when new coach Aubrey Gaglione came in. After hearing about the coaching vacancy, Aubrey decided to volunteer her time to the program because she knows the importance of guidance and leadership for the team to reach its full potential, something she values more than a paying salary.
The transition was tough, but yeah, I really just wanted to step in the role to give the kids a chance, to give them a fighting chance. I think a coach is a very important role in a program, and I know before they were coaching themselves, and that's a really hard thing to take on.
The changes were rough for these athletes, but they never gave up on the program, and certainly did not let the negativity bring them down.
We used it as a motivator, if anything, to be like, look, we are worthy. We are the NIU cheerleaders. We represent this school. People see us walking around at football games, at basketball games. They want to take pictures with us because they know us.
The transition from an athletic program to a club gave NIU cheerleading a fresh start and a special trip to Daytona that they will never forget. For NTC News, I'm Alyssa Galan.
The cheerleading team competes tomorrow in Daytona at the NCAA Nationals.
Watch their performance live stream at tv.varsity.com.
That's it for NTC News. Tune in Monday for our update at 1. In collaboration with WNIJ, we're going to leave you now with the Threads singing I Got the Time.
And we're here Thursday night at 7 on 89.5 FM and WNIJ.org. Have a good weekend.